My name is Savannah. I'm autistic and I have ADHD. I'm also a coach for neurodivergent adults. I get the pleasure of speaking with primarily autistic and ADHD individuals and finding solutions that work for them. But how do we get here? I was honestly thinking I was doing fine most of my life. I did not know I was autistic. I didn't know I had ADHD. I did know I have chronic pain, but I also really didn't even acknowledge or what's the word for it? I wouldn't even have said that I'm anxious or that I have anxiety, although I do run super hyperactive and I am very hypervigilant and um, very anxious. But I literally thought that as long as I can push through it and function, that I'm not as anxious as other people. But it turns out some people are not feeling impending doom and fear and concern, like driving down the road and like worried about what other drivers are doing and thinking about things a little bit more complexly or analyzing your environment differently or trying to find safety. I am super anxious. So, one of the things that I did in embracing my autism and ADHD is I had to treat my anxiety. And yeah, some people with autism or ADHD have clinical depression or anxiety. We can't just do everything on our own always. Sometimes we do need help and support. And so take your meds. If there's something that helps you, from supplements to prescriptions, receive guidance, seek out support from a professional, but do what helps you. It's not bad to need a medication to function a little bit better or to feel a little bit more mental ease because there are people walking around who aren't as stressed just simply by existing the way that we are. Everyone is not as stressed, everyone is not rushing around in the same way. They feel like they're good enough to just try stuff. They don't have that feeling of like, oh my gosh, why me? Could I even do it? Is this even worth it? There's other people who do it so much better than me. There's other people who are more educated, more smart, more prepared, more experienced. But they're not you. They don't have your experience. Although we relate, autistic individuals are all extremely unique. So when we talk about autism, how did I know? How did I know I was autistic? Oh boy. I honestly thought ADHD solved all my problems. Learning that I was ADHD or had ADHD brought a lot of my life together. I was at that point, I realized my career in a crisis field was maybe not suited for my body, my nervous system, and ADHD helped, it checked all the boxes for me. Obviously, I have ADHD that aligned, but the difference is some people with ADHD do have sensory issues, but mine are extreme. Some people with ADHD do have social difficulties, but again, mine are a little bit more enhanced. Communication differences. I do have a lot of the struggles similar to ADHD or more specific to about excited speech or rapid speech or excited utterance where you interrupt somebody or maybe share a mutual story to connect. My brain sees patterns and it thinks quickly, and my internal dialogue is super active. As an autistic person, though, sometimes it also shuts down, goes offline, and there's this mix of what you might see as overwhelm that could be breaking down. You know, burnout gets intense, but then your sensory issues are even harder to deal with. And now you can't function at work, and now you're getting written up, and now that rejection is piling on, and then you have peers talking negatively about you. It's so hard to function, and rejection sensitivity can also happen for people that have ADHD, autism, and other neurodivergence. I experience a lot of rejection sensitivity, which is feeling rejected, feeling like nobody likes me or nobody is choosing me or whatever it might be from real or perceived events. So sometimes I just think something happened or saw it and it made me assume that people were talking about me or they weren't maybe even talking about me. Or maybe I heard a small thing that they said and took it negatively. Or maybe it's just in the comments, right? I am largest on Instagram and I have over 20,000 followers there. And I'm doing more on Facebook, but there's also just random people that are so rude and critical and mean. And all I'm trying to do is share my story and help other adults find certainty for themselves. Because if you're autistic or you're ADHD, you need to find that out. It's not that you have to tell everybody or identify fully as disabled, but they are disabilities. They are real challenges. they do cause significant disadvantages, from debt to like risk to your life. Actually, people who have ADHD are higher risk of dying sooner because of risk-taking behavior and other factors. And then you bring in things like addiction or overdose and risk of self-harm, risk of suicidal ideation. There are so many things that we're dealing with. Knowing that you're autistic or ADHD can help you make that step to self-acceptance and start living differently, start meeting your needs, start accommodating yourself, and finding the language to get those accommodations, because no one is doing it for us. Have a great day. My name's Savannah. I am autistic and I have ADHD. And if you want to hear more about lived experience, you can go to savslifeskills.com, and then under the shop or downloads tab, you'll see 100 signs you have ADHD and 100 signs you are autistic. Lived experience broken down into legitimate categories that can help you communicate your experience for your partner, for your friends, for employers, or maybe in the diagnosis process yourself if you are seeking assessment. Have a beautiful day.